Good day, everyone. How na day now? Yeah, now well done. No, uh, today we'll be looking at our block diagram. How to reduce it. This question just come out for test like this. Everything where I sabi carry for head just come out. Vim. I no call remember any of the rule. The mistake I I made, and it's a lesson to me. I would like everybody to also learn from it. Is that the brain, for the brain to store anything, or for you to be able to remember something, you have to be consistent in that thing. Don't think that if you do it once, you are then good at it, or if you've taught it or stuff like I felt, or you're good at it. Always feed the need to just go through it. You won't know what you have forgotten till the question is being given to you again to solve. I guess that's one of the lessons that I learned today in the test. Thank God say I no cry. And this na 3 credit load wey I go play with like this. May God help me for this thing. Okay, with that aside, at least let me solve it. Let it be known that but that small thing, understand? Education will still tell you your grades, but you are the one that know your capacity. So let that not pull you down, but still hustle up in education though. If not, my F you go get for your courses. Okay, with that aside, any negative energy back to sender, come on here. Let us look at our the question in front of us. It said obtain the transfer function of the control diagram below. Okay, now the question just demanding that we just reduce this stuff here. So our aim is just to reduce this diagram to just one block. Now, if as you can see, if you notice, this is a complete feedback loop. So also is this. No, this should be a feedback. Yeah, it's a complete feedback loop. So is this one. So is this one. None of them is parallel. I would like to make that clear. And another thing is that this guy that is here is interrupting this closed feedback loop. It won't allow you to be easily simplified. So we got to do something about this particular part. Even this one too. This one comes in between this closed loop. So we just our aim now is going to be shifting this guy over to this point, and like we said in our earlier in one of our video, our summing point can be interchanged. So we then, if we move it over here, we can simply interchange the two of them without adding anything. The same thing here, we move this one over to this part. So we have two complete closed loop, and we can then resolve for that one and then find the one on top. So no time to waste. Okay, now focusing on this guy, our aim now is now to shift this particular guy, this particular summing point, over to the left hand side. And we say that whenever we are moving the summing point over to the left hand side, we are going to be introducing 1 over h3, sorry, 1 over g1, the function that we passed, that we just went over. We're going to be introducing it in this feedback loop here. We're going to be introducing it there, and so also with this one too. This one, when you're moving a branching point in front, you introduce 1 over g4. the one that you just passed, 1 over g4. So why this one? This one is kind of the opposite of this one. If your summing point, if you're moving like this, you'll be introducing in this branching point g2. As if you're moving like this, but we're not moving like that now. This one too, if we are moving like this, we'll be introducing just g3. So why this one? When we are moving to the left hand side, we'll just introduce the function into this closed loop here, this feedback loop here. This one on the other hand, if you're moving to the left, you'll be doing 1 over. But this one, if you're moving to the right, just g2. Or this one, if you're moving to the right, 1 over g4. And in each of the cases, what we're looking at is the transfer function that we are crossing. So keep that in mind. So let us start with this one. This guy, we are moving it over to this part. So when we do that, this guy will go off and then appear around here. Why this guy will shift to this point, this one will shift to this point. So so let's say we are moving this, and we introduce and we shift our g1 in front, and then shift our this particular summing point in front. Then we introduce this one here. Okay. Remember, it was this one that had minus, that had the arrow. So we have shifted it in front. So the arrow will also shift. Now we want to introduce this one that was previously here now. The one that came with this one. We want to move it over here. So we have to do that. The minus sign will come over here. And this is our guy. Now we are going to be introducing this transfer function that we just passed, which is what? G1. So that particular transfer function that you shifted or that you passed, that is the one you're going to be introducing. And since we went to the left hand side, this is meant to be 1 over g1 and not g1. So since we went to the left hand side, this is 1 over what? G1. Now mistake go there. Even computer they make mistake. Now we're not gonna make them. But let's be cautious of that, Sha. Let's be cautious of that. Now we have done what we have done that which we wanted here, which is to get this thing now to be a complete loop. We are going to be doing that here too. This guy will be moving it over to this part. When we do that, that will be simply just moving our, because this one doesn't require much storing. So we're going to be introducing our transfer function, which is 1 over g4 now we have done that. Now you can see there are many transfer function in series. This are in series, this are in series, this are in series, and when we say that when they're in series, you just simply multiply the two of them. So for this one let's do for this one first. So this times this will be can be rewritten as this G1, G2. Now this over here, G4. Now we're having G1 over G1, 1 over G4. If we multiply the two of them, we're having 1 over G1, G4. But this one doesn't have 1 over. So this one will be the numerator, while this one will then be the denominator. So if we are to do that, we'll be having transfer function that looks like this. So this is 4. That's 4. This will go off. So with this one. And you have succeeded in multiplying all of them together. Okay. So as you can see now, we now have our feedback loop now. So we can now use our feedback loop formula to get to compress this one to just be a single transfer function. When we do that for this, we're going to be having the formula, since here is minus, so our denominator is going to be having plus. So we're going to be having for this one, it's going to be G1 G2 over 1, since here is minus, it's going to be plus now, G1 G2, and then our H. Remember, we got this from the popular formula. Then where here is your output and here is your where here is your inputs and here is your output. And when you're to get the transfer function, you have that C over R is equal to G over 1. Since here is minus, so here is going to be plus G H. So this is the formula that we made use of to get this. So in this case, our G is now G1, G2, and our H is H1. So we just do substitution here. So we're going to be doing the same thing here too. For this one, it's going to be what? G3, G4 over 1 plus G3, G4, H2. Okay, so this is the transfer function that we got from this closed loop. So we are going to be replacing the whole of this with this. So the whole of this will be going off. Now we'll replace it with this G1, G2 over 1 plus G1, G2, H1. Similarly, this will also be replaced. This will be replaced by this. So the whole of this So be careful. What you're replacing is the summing point your branching point, your transfer function, and the close or the feedback function. So, and nothing else. That's only what we are replacing with all this. So G3, G4 over 1 plus G3, G4, H2. Okay, finally we have reduced it to this level. We have tried now, but we're not still done. Our aim is just to have one box here. So this and this are in series, so we can simply multiply the two of them. When we multiply the two of them, we are having G1, G2, G3, G4 over 1 plus G1, G2, H1 times 1 plus G3, G4, H2. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to be replacing these two with this. So we have succeeded in doing that. Gamma. Okay, so the next thing is now using our feedback transfer function formula. We're going to be our closed loop transfer function formula. We're going to now be shrinking this now to one box. Remember, for you to know it is a closed loop, you have your branching point, your summing point. In one of the video, I explained the difference between functions being in parallel and a closed loop. They're not the same thing. So this is a closed loop. We are tapping from the output and feeding it back to the input in order to create some correction there. So using the same ideology, remember it is this one all over 1. Since here is plus, it's not going to be minus this times this. In the case where you have this, here is plus, your transfer function, having for another transfer function is H, here is G. Now for this, our transfer function is now going to be G over 1 minus is because here is plus, G H. We're going to be replacing the whole of this with this. This will then be our new transfer function. So that's our aim here. So this time around, our G, if you notice, is quite huge, and our H is this value. So it's still the same concepts. Just substitute and get your answer. That's all. So with that aside, let us now do this. Now we're going to be having G1, G2, G3, G4 over 1 plus G1, G2, H1, 1 plus G3, G4, H2. This. Now I would have loved to come here and do all over, but it will make me to shrink some things. Okay, let me still continue. You're going to be having 1 minus the whole of this G1, G2, G3, G4 all over 1 plus G1, G2, H1 times all times 1 plus G3, calm down bros, G4, H2, okay, all multiplied by H, which is H3 over G1, G4. Okay, now if you notice our G1 is here, so this will go off, this will go off, G4 will go off, G4 will go off. Okay, so we can then rewrite the whole of this. If this is off and this is off, we can rewrite and we'll include our H3 here, and the whole of this is off. We are multiplying, we just multiplied though, we didn't do any magic. This divided by this, we got G2, G3, G2, G3. Then when we multiply the remaining numerator, which is H3, they got this. So no magic, yo. I have not done any magic yet. We're not even going to be doing magic. I'm not a magician. Okay, let us resolve this. Now we need to make this to be in to have a common denominator for this denominator part. These are our denominator parts. We need to make it to have a common denominator. So we're going to be, I don't have space. What we're going to be doing now is introducing this particular guy over here. We're going to be using our division sign divided by Holy Ghost. You are not Pentecostal divided by you are not Orthodox. Teach us your way, your way. Oh, this one is highlighter. It's not marker. No verse. No verse. No verse. Okay, so I'll go with dividing the whole of this by 1 minus G2 G3 H3 all over. I'm just bringing this guy over here, replacing this all over, or this division sign here with this. That's all I'm doing. So 1, oh god, 1 finally, 1 plus G1 G2 H1 1 plus G3 G4 H2. So I can now get rid of these ones. So the whole of this is off. Okay, now before we can convert this into a multiplication sign, we need to first of all make this our 1. I want to find the common multiple of this fraction. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to be having all of that to be over 1 plus G1 G2 H1. This one I've written many times. I hope I've not made any mistake. Okay, so this one doesn't have any indices. Let's say this one is over 1. So this whereby this is this times this is going to be giving us 1 Ọ bụghị m ji nkume. It's going to be giving us the whole of this. So we're going to be having 1 plus G1 G2 H1 1 plus G3 G4 H2 minus this divided by this is 1 times whatever is here. We'll be having G2 G3 H3. Okay, so we have found a common multiple here, so this is it. So we can still bring down our division sign, and all these ones down here we have. Now at this point I feel like I need to substitute some of these things because I'm wasting a lot of time and energy rewriting all these things. In one of my video I just simply exchange some of these things with A and B. I could have done that now, but I guess decisions always vary. Okay, so this is equal to this line is equal to this line. The only thing we have done specially here is this is still this. We have not changed anything. Only what we just did here just to make that this thing to have a common denominator, which we have done. So our 1 was multiplied by the whole of the denominator, which is this, minus this. So this and this are the same. Now we have gotten all this. We can now influence our make use of our division sign. Now we're going to be changing it to multiplication sign. When we do that, this guy will go over, this guy will come down here. When we do that, we will have now. You might ask the reason why I'm not substituting. I kind of discovered when I was trying to solve this on my own that when you substitute at the wrong time, it can prevent you from seeing things that could cancel out. But I guess it's not that serious like that. It will still make your work a bit easy and less stressful. I advise anyone who is working with time to substitute, call the whole of this to be A, the whole of this to be B, and substitute and get your answer. Because repeating the whole of this is waste of time. Okay, so this will be coming up. We're going to be having okay. Okay. Naija, give me marker. Marker where they get right. No be the one where I go by, I no go see anything. Naija, give me marker. Okay. Now we are going to be having 1 plus G1 G2 H1 1 plus G3 G4 H2 minus G2 G3 H3. what we did is converting this division to multiplication, elementary maths, swapping this guy, we got this. Now the whole of this can now go off. Now, so as you can see, this and this are now what? The same. So the whole of this will cancel the whole of this, and we will then have that our new transfer function will be g1, g2, g3, g4 all over 1 plus g1, g2, h1, 1 plus g3, g4, h2 minus g2, g3, h3. So this is our answer. Oh, finally, the Lord has done it. So I'm going to be replacing the whole of this with a new transfer function. Bam, 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 bam. So this is the answer to this question. I would have gotten my full mark, but I was claiming there was no need for me to read my book. Okay, so always come prepared in whatever you're doing. Don't assume. Be sure. It will go a very long way. See you guys in the next video. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if this was definitely helpful. But even though it wasn't helpful, if you just drop a comment, tell me waiting up, understand? You might see it as criticism. Yeah, they say I'm as a way to help myself. So when you criticize, I learn from what you're saying, and then understand. So don't keep your words or your options or your opinions to yourself. Let me hear them. Okay, because I'm doing the video for you guys, and I'm also learning from. I'm also improving in my own experience. So it's a two-way thing. So thank you and God bless you. See you in the next video. Goodbye.